Have you been wondering if there's a natural way to support your baby's eczema from the inside out? If so, you're not alone. One of the most common questions I get from parents is, are there any supplements that can actually help my baby's eczema? The answer is it depends on the child. Eczema is a complex condition, and while supplements aren't a cure, certain nutrients may help support the skin barrier function, immune health, and their overall wellness. Today I'm going to be sharing my top 5 supplements that I commonly discuss with families. Be sure to stay to the end because I'll also share one supplement that many parents overlook but can make a significant difference. Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Amanda Garcia and I help support parents and their children through natural and holistic medicine. Vitamin D plays an important role in immune regulation and maintaining healthy skin. Research has found that some children with eczema have lower vitamin D levels, and in certain cases, correcting their deficiency can help improve their flare-ups. Now, vitamin D can be difficult getting through just their food, so I do always recommend having exposure to their natural sunlight. And what this does is it helps them absorb the vitamin D through their skin. The first 2 hours in the morning are best, and if you can try to get between 10 to 20 minutes per day, that would also be really good. Of course, make sure you're not overexposing them and it's safe. They're not getting sunburn, especially for little babies. Their skins are so delicate and sensitive. If you're not able to get natural sunlight just due to, then go ahead and speak to your pediatrician about getting an oral supplement and discuss the proper dosage for their age and weight. Next is omega-3 fatty acids. And omega-3s can help support the body's natural inflammatory response and are important for healthy skin. They may also support skin hydration and the overall barrier function. For babies who are old enough, omega-3s can come from fatty fish or pediatric fish oil products specifically designed for infants and children. When choosing a supplement, always look for the one that has been third-party tested for purity and heavy metals. Number 3 is probiotics. The gut and skin are closely connected, and while probiotics aren't appropriate for every child, some research has suggested that certain probiotic strains support immune balance and they help reduce eczema symptoms in some infants. Not all probiotics are the same though, something I recommend discussing with your pediatric healthcare provider. And in traditional Chinese medicine, we believe that the gut and the skin are deeply connected. If the gut microbiome is in balance, then it will definitely show up in the skin. And it'll show up in different ways, and not just in children, but all ages. So if the gut microbiome is in balance, and let's just say there's more bad bacteria versus a good bacteria, then this will definitely show up in the skin as eczema. It can show up as psoriasis. It can show up as a yeast. It can show up as acne. So the gut is a big indicator on skin health. So as a practitioner, the first thing I look at for my patients is their gut health. And I normally do this by asking a couple of questions to understand how their gut and their digestive system is working. And based on the answers of those questions, I can pretty much gauge what is going on with their gut health and then use a proper protocol to help them balance it out and get it to a more stable place, which will then reflect in their overall health and eliminating toxins properly so that it's not trying to be excreted through their skin. Zinc is another important nutrient. It's involved in skin repair, wound healing, and immune function. Foods naturally rich in zinc include beans, lentils, pumpkin seeds, yogurt, and meats for older infants and toddlers. And my number one recommendation isn't actually a supplement. It's making sure that babies are getting healthy fats in their diet when developmentally ready. Healthy fats are essential for building healthy skin cells and for maintaining a strong skin barrier. Foods like avocado, olive oil, chia seeds, and flax seeds, nut butters when introduced safely, and fatty fish can all help support healthy skin. Sometimes focusing on nourishing the body with nutrient-dense foods is just or even more important than buying another supplement. So I always recommend that patients focus on having their child eat a well-balanced, nutritious diet and then supplement with whatever they cannot get. Some of those examples will be depending on where you live. Maybe there's not certain foods available. You can't get certain supplements through the food in a natural way, or for babies that are maybe breastfeeding, or even toddlers that are really picky, or they do have some sort of food allergies, which is very common. And I know it can be a little difficult, especially with the young kids, just because they are more limited. And again, we all know that toddlers can be extremely picky. They might not want to try new foods, or they just have a limited range of foods that they're currently eating. But again, the more you introduce them and the younger that you start introducing them, the more that they'll be open to trying new foods and eating foods that are a lot healthier. So the foods that you are able to give them that have the nutrients, you want to make sure you're incorporating them every day into their diet. And whatever you are unable to give them through their food, then that's what you want to supplement with. One of the biggest mistakes I see parents make is that they start multiple supplements at the same time. And usually parents get excited when they are on their eczema journey and trying to figure out what they can do to help their child. And they buy a lot of different supplements, thinking and believing that if they give this to them all at the same time, that they'll get better faster. And I want to say that this is usually not the case, and it can actually be more harmful than beneficial. The reason is because if you give your child multiple supplements at the same time, you're not going to know what's helping them, and you're not going to know what's harmful to them if they have an allergic reaction. So this is why I highly recommend focusing on a nutrient dense, well balanced diet so that they can get the nutrients that they need through absorption from the food, versus having a poor diet and then believing and thinking that taking a lot of supplements is going to be more beneficial for them. Um, I also want to point out that if they have an allergic reaction, you won't know which supplement caused it, and you won't know which ones to eliminate. And usually parents get a little scared and flustered, and then they end up not wanting to give them any supplements at all. So what I highly recommend is, if you are introducing supplements, then go ahead and start with just one. And after that, I would say maybe a week or two, after closely monitoring them and making sure they're not having any type of adverse reaction, then if needed, then go ahead and introduce another one. And after that, then again, you wait another 1 or 2 weeks, and if you believe that they need another one, then you can go ahead and add that into their routine. You can also have them take certain ones one day, certain others another day. You don't have to give them everything all the same day. This will be something you need to discuss with a qualified healthcare provider, and not just do willy-nilly and by yourself. Again, we want to make sure that your child is healthy and making sure that they get the best and proper care. Remember, eczema isn't just caused by a vitamin or supplement deficiency. It's often a combination of genetics, skin barrier health, immune function, environmental triggers, and nutrition. Supporting your baby's health holistically means looking at the whole picture and not just chasing one magic solution. If you'd like even more guidance, I've created a free baby eczema starter guide with all of my favorite holistic tips for parents. Click on the link in the description box, or if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section.